Skubis, a lawyer and NB property law. And today I thought I'd go through the really interesting situation of when is your behaviour so bad that you could be written out of a will. We just last week saw a court case come through the Supreme Court where children of a murderer was not able to receive an inheritance that their parent would have received because of the murder. So of course murder can amount to you being written out of the will or the court intervention of not giving you your inheritance or your family inheritance. But what other type of behaviour could you engage where you might end up automatically writing yourself out of the will? Well, this is what we call disentitling conduct. And disentitling conduct is essentially an action or actions undertaken by somebody that is severe enough that the will maker should not be expected by the society to provide that abuser with the benefit under their will. Now, there's no minimum threshold as to what type of behaviour is bad enough to write yourself out of the will, but the general consensus and general guideline as to some situations that can automatically write you out of the will or amount to Supreme Court intervention to write you out of the will include murder, it can include domestic violence, in particular continuous domestic abuse, or it could be the child who mistreats their parent. At the end of the day, it's determined on a case-by-case basis because disentitling conduct is a grey area. There is no type of abuse that is always the same, that the court can determine when is it severe enough for society to determine that you shouldn't get an inheritance out of that person's will. But some of the circumstances that are taken into account as to whether your behaviour is bad enough is, was the entitled person considered a lame duck? Which means that the person who ended up doing the action is somebody who cannot financially support themselves and is solely relying on the inheritance under the will. How much is the estate worth? And is there anybody else who might have contributed to the will maker's value that they should receive the inheritance under the will instead? So at the end of the day, there's this thing called a forfeiture rule, which is the automatic entitlement. It only refers to one scenario. If you murder somebody, you automatically forfeit your inheritance under the will. And going back to the case that we talked about at the start, even your family members, your direct descendants, will also forfeit their inheritance through your murderous actions. If you're trying to figure out whether somebody has mistreated you so badly that you can write them out under the will, then the team at NB Property Law can assist you.